Hey. So we are going to hit, maybe if I can get my camera right, we are going to hit chapter 1 tonight, talking about the first lie, which is something else will make me happy. How many of you guys are guilty of that? How many of you guys have made these plans or you wanted to do these things and you thought if you did XYZ, then that would make you happier, right? Guess what? It doesn't quite work that way, does it? So, a couple of the quotes that I got out of this chapter that really sunk in with me was, life is not supposed to overwhelm you at all times. Life isn't meant to be merely survived. It is meant to be lived. So how many of you guys are actually living your lives and not having your lives live you? Okay, so this is your life. You are meant to be the hero of your own story. How awesome is that? Guess what, you guys? You guys have the power. You have the pen in your hand to write your own story, which is so amazing, right? Hey, Jennifer. Another quote. Hey, Natasha. Another quote that really stood out to me in this chapter, and you guys can chime in at any time and type out the quotes that stood out to you guys, because I really want to hear what you guys have to say too, is what it means is taking responsibility for your own life and your own happiness. Said another way, and a harsher, more likely to get me punched in the face kind of way, if you're unhappy, that's on you. We all have circumstances. We all have things every day that we are faced with. And so it's challenging sometimes to get past of that. And so you have the choice and the ability to make any situation a positive situation. So great example, I was faced with being in 3 places today at the same time. How do we do that, right? How do we pull ourselves to be in 3 places at one time? Guess what? You can only do one thing at a time. So you do the first thing, then the second thing, and then the third thing. And guess what? I did my best. And if my best isn't good enough for somebody else, then that's on them. It's not on me, because I know in my heart I've done the best that I can do. So that's what's important. So some of the things that Rachel had pointed out at the very end of chapter 1 were things that helped her get over this lie that something else will make you happy. And the first thing is stop comparing yourself to other people. Because guess what? My chapter 20 may not be the same as your chapter 2. Or your chapter 30 may not be the same as my chapter 10. We all have different experiences. We all have different lives. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Bottom line, comparison is the death of joy. And the only person you need to be better than is the one that you were yesterday. So always strive to be better than you were the day before. Number 2, surround yourself with positivity. We live in a world that is so full of negativity. It is actually pretty sickening if you think about it. But all we can do is keep breeding that positivity, keep throwing that positive vibe out there. And eventually it does actually, it's all about your mindset. It changes so much. You become who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with positive people, then you will become positive. If you surround yourself with negative people, then you're going to jump on that negative bandwagon and do the same thing. And we can't be doing that, right? Number 3. Figure out what makes you happy, not what makes your husband happy, not what makes your kids happy, not what makes the dog happy, not what makes your friends happy, what makes you happy. So figure that out. I know it seems really obvious, but sit down and actually just write out a list of things that make you happy. Because guess what, guys? You have one life to live. This is it. Why live it for somebody else? Live it for yourself. And yes, Jennifer, you do matter. Everybody matters. So write that as an affirmation, put it on your wall, put it on your mirror, and repeat it to yourself every single day as a known, firm fact. So a couple of things I wanted to throw out here was a couple of questions. And you guys can jot these questions down, and maybe after I'm live, I will go ahead and put the questions in the comments. And these are just things that you guys can think about reflecting back on this chapter. And maybe, write out your answers for them. You don't have to share them with everybody if you don't want to. If you want to, that's totally cool and totally fine. We're open to it because this is, like I said, a safe place to talk about all these kind of things. So only you can determine how your life turns out. No situation or challenge can decide that. Period. If you're in a crappy job, get out. If you're in a crappy marriage, get out. If you don't like the way your kids are treating you, you're the adult. I mean, I don't know how else to say that, but you have the power to change all of those situations. You just have to believe in yourself long enough to do it. Every step that you take to discover your best self matters a lot. Every single step. So keep taking those steps. Keep climbing that staircase. Keep moving forward. Possible reasons why imperfections might linger. What are those flaws that keep you back from pursuing your dreams? What holds you back from living your dreams? Is it money? Is it what everybody else thinks of you? Is it your how you think about yourself? Is it that you're scared to actually go out and do the very thing that you want to do? So something to just kind of think about. What is it that's holding you back? Have you ever tried working on your limitations, and what has the progress been so far? So think about those limitations and what kind of holds you back. And the last thing that I want to leave you with today on this chapter is, how far are you going to go to improving your flaws by the end of 6 months from now? So make up that list of flaws, those lies that we keep telling ourselves, right? Because it goes back to that number one lie, that something else will make me happy. So I'm going to give you an example of my own personal life because this is a place that we're sharing this stuff, right? And I also think that it will be more relatable if we share these things, with each other and actually realize that, we are all human. All of us are. So something else that I always thought would make me happy was being loved by people, right? So I would go and I thought, okay, if I get into this relationship, it's going to make me a happier person. Guess what? It didn't make me a happier person. It actually made me more miserable than I was before. So don't ever settle for something else that's going to make you happy. Settle for what really truly matters, and that does make you happy. So the last and final thing that I'm going to leave with you is you are in charge of your own life. And there's not one thing in it that you're not allowing to be there. So share your thoughts on chapter 1 in the comments below if you'd wish. And we will come back on tomorrow, and we are going to hit chapter 2, which is the next lie. I'll start tomorrow. How many of you guys say that? Oh, I'm going to start my diet tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to go pay my bills tomorrow. So we'll talk about chapter 2 and what that lie is all about. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.